Hi, this is Julia, a junior life analyst. Unanimous votes in Washington not as rare as House states, but it happened recently in the House of Representatives. On June 8th, the U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations approved the Ending China's Developing Nation Status Act, asking to end the treatment of China as a developing nation. Well, it seems I should be so flattered when being told that my country is now a developed one. But isn't it weird that I need to be told by a foreign government about a fact? Or let's say, it is not a fact at all. What we can clearly tell is that US has been working on stripping China's developing nation identity for a long while. Even when Donald Trump was still the president, he said on the White House news conference, if China is a developing nation, well, then make us a developing nation too. Why US consistently trying to elevate China's national status? With great disappointment, I failed to find any concrete evidence or report given out by the Senate explaining their passion for the act. According to U.S. Senator Van Hollen, Cornyn, and Romney, I think there are mainly three reasons. The first reason is that, based on GDP, China is now the second largest economy in the world. This is mentioned 3 times. And the second reason is that China has strong military power. And the third reason is China is highly industrialized with great ability to invest. Thus to say, China is posing great threat to U.S. economic security and should no longer enjoy the provisions given to the developing nations. They believe it's time to declare China as a developed nation. First thing first, it isn't wise to use GDP alone as a tool to evaluate the development level of a nation. Development is a comprehensive concept. No matter what data is used, it shouldn't be taken as an index to compete against others or boast about ourselves. The main goal of development is to provide tangible, higher quality life for each citizen. And this is what Chinese people are really caring about. Considering the huge population, there are more than 1.4 billion of us. Per capita obviously makes much more sense on this issue. In 2022, China's GDP per capita only came the 64th on the world rank. We are neither surprised nor ashamed by the result. At the end of 2020, we have just ended up the 40 years journey of lifting extreme poverty, saving more than 800 million people whose daily income used to be below $1.9. This is not only a huge contribution to our people, to our country, but it is also quite meaningful to the world, considering the possible experience sharing and the progress on achieving UN SDG 1, no poverty. But don't forget, a lot of people are just out of extreme poverty. Life is better, but that is not enough. As World Bank says, although China has eradicated extreme poverty, a significant number of people remain vulnerable, with income below a threshold more typically used to define poverty. China is now suffering from severe regional disparity. We are not lost in the fantasy that everyone is living a comfortable and modern life as those in the metropolis do. There are mountains after mountains. People in rural areas with great promise are working very hard, and the government is trying to distribute the resources in a more balanced way. But still, it takes time to find the change happen. And the second point, we need to listen to the idea from the international communities. World Bank no longer uses the binary division to classify countries. Italy employs its GNI per capita to do the assessment. And China clearly belongs to the second level, namely the upper middle income, excluded from the high income group, which is occupied by universally acknowledged developed countries. For the International Monetary Fund, China clearly belongs to the emerging market and developing economies instead of the advanced economies group. For the United Nations, UNSD emphasizes that being part of either developed or developing region is through sovereign decision of the state. Similarly, WTO agrees that members announce for themselves whether they are developing or developed countries. Under the WTO framework, US has always been complaining about China since we became a member of it. According to 2022 USTR report to Congress on China's WTO compliance, which is done annually since the year 2000. I just cannot think of any other country who could do that every year. Well, if we don't have a market system, how are we going to enjoy all the provisions given to the developed countries by WTO? And if they really think China doesn't have a proper market system, but it can succeed in rising at such a fast pace, and even be called a developed country today, then why not learn from us? We don't mind. I can feel their great jealousy. Additionally, the US owes the UN $1 billion alone on peacekeeping. I admire them so much that I still have the confidence to doubt whether China will evade from our international responsibilities when the share of China's UN budget is increasing every year and everyone is worried about that US may withdraw arbitrarily at any time. They always refuse to take the CBDR actions, which is so related to our shared future. And for the military part, US has a military budget of $858 billion and 750 military bases in 80 countries. They have just illegally visited the Taiwan Strait again recently and always looking forward to provoking something near the Chinese border. But they are accusing China, with a budget of $224 billion, is posing great threat to the world. It's just another case that US tries to deter China's development. Sometimes they throw dirt on us, sometimes they brag about us. But no matter which means they pick, it only reflects their fear and anxiety of being caught up, which is originated from their self-interest, short vision, and ignorance. A country that talking about humanity every day doesn't give a look at how people's life is actually going on, not only in their homeland. That's a great satire. As a citizen living in China for more than 2 decades, I know we will still be a developing nation for a long while, because there are still problems waiting to be solved. But we don't worry, and we are not in a hurry, because we have so many strong people. When that day really comes, I firmly believe we will be the first one to proudly claim that to the world. No one could speak for us. Thank you very much.